How's it going, guys? White Rabbit here. Today I'm going to debunk the flat earth model. Again. Now, keep in mind, I've already debunked it from a scriptural angle. I've debunked it from a mathematical angle. I've debunked it from a scientific angle. I've debunked it from a logical angle. And I've debunked it by exposing it as the psyop that it is. But today, I'm going to debunk it according to the parameters that the flat earthers set themselves. And hopefully by the end of this, you'll realize once and for all that these flat earthers are not truthers. They do not value the truth. They do not want the truth. They are only concerned with pushing a narrative. So let's get into it. I came across this video on YouTube. Okay? It is of an amateur rocket launch. Now I'll get to that in a second, but if you go down in the description section, you can find out a whole bunch of information on this particular rocket launch. Very cool. So you go to the website, linked in the description, and it shows all this information about the rocket, how it's designed, and it gives just a plethora of images of the launch itself, of the people involved, yada, yada, yada. I mean, look at all this. This is an amateur rocket launch. Okay? So that's the first criteria met. This is not a NASA organized something or another. No, this is an amateur rocket launch. Okay? And you can even download the project and flight report on the page if you so choose. Okay? Pretty cool. So, that's the rocket. This is the video. The second point of contention is that flat earthers and others like to claim that the reason, like for example, in an image like this, they like to argue that the reason the Earth looks curved in this image is because the camera is using a fisheye lens. Okay, fair enough. What is a fisheye lens? Well, as you can see, it bends the picture around the perimeter. Okay? That's what it does. You can see in these examples how it distorts the image. And you can see how it distorts the image. If you take an image of a straight line that goes directly across, it will stay a straight line, but it will be thicker. It'll be thicker on the edges and thinner in the middle. But if that straight line happens to be above the middle of the viewfinder, the straight line will curve upwards. And vice versa, if that straight line happens to be directly below the middle of the viewfinder, that straight line will bend down. Okay? So, if we're looking at an image like this, you can see that the horizon of the Earth is just to the left of the middle of this image. So, it is within reason, according to flat Earth logic, that it would create this curved image. Okay? That's the logic. You don't have to agree with it. That's what they go with. So we'll add that into our equation here. That's the principle. So, I have this video here of the rocket launch. And you can see as the rocket goes up, it's spinning around. As it goes higher and higher, you can begin to see the curvature of the Earth. Okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to stop the camera right about here. Okay? As you can see, the middle of the screen, here, let me make that bigger for you. The middle of the viewfinder is about here. Directly below the viewfinder is the horizon. All right, now that's not good enough. Let's take this into Photoshop so that we can make sure that we get an accurate line. Here's the still of that image we just took from the video of the amateur rocket. Assuming that the camera has a fisheye lens, we have accommodated by making sure we have an image of the horizon below the center of the viewfinder. Okay? Now, what do we have to do? Well, we have to exaggerate this because we can't exactly just draw a line from here to here. We want to make sure that we are getting as precise of a measurement as we possibly can. So, let's exaggerate some of the features. Let's increase the saturation. And let's do some brightness and contrast. Let's bring up the contrast. Let's bring down the darkness. There we go. Now we have something that we can work with. Now if we take our line tool, we can draw a straight line from the very corner, just as the horizon meets the edge of the page here, on across to this spot. There's our line, and there's the horizon. Gee, it kind of looks like that horizon is curving upward, doesn't it? Gee, doesn't that kind of prove that the Earth has a curve? Okay, so let's try that again from the beginning, just to make sure that there's no funny business or anything going on here. And this time we'll adjust it by using the levels. Okay, so if we adjust the levels here a little bit, we can bring up the brightness. Okay, do you think that's fair? This gives us a good brightness level because we have whiteness, which is kind of like where the Earth was. And we're getting that atmospheric break there as well. All right, so if we bring this down, see, we can make out a couple different atmospheric levels here when we do it this way. Let's see if adjusting anything else will make it a little more clear. Boy, that makes it super clear, doesn't it? Okay. Well, let's try this one. We'll take our straight line tool and we'll start it here. We'll bring it on across to here. I gotta be honest with you folks, I'm seeing a curve here. Looks like it's curving upwards. Okay, let's try this one more time, okay? Trying to get as true to the image as I possibly can. So let's try another distortion of the image. Actually, you know what? Let's just try this without distorting the image. Let's drop a point here. We're going to do this one a little differently. And we're going to drop one right about here. Okay, so the top of these lines, to me, are where these colors change. Okay? Peak of the horizon. And now let's drop another one right here. Okay? Now, all we need to see is if all of these lengths add up. Put in a white background. Let's take our line tool again. This time we'll do red just to differentiate. And we'll go from the top of this one to top of that one. As we can see, this line in the middle is longer, which tells us that the horizon is bending upwards. See that? That's on the original image, guys. Folks, the Earth is round, okay? It's a globe, it's a sphere. And anyone trying to tell you otherwise is trying to deceive you. They are pushing a narrative. They are not truthers. Plain and simple. So hopefully, through this little demonstration, I've made my point. You know, like I said, I've already debunked the theory a multitude of different ways. This time I'm debunking it according to their own specifications. And I have debunked it. Yet again. How many times does this have to be debunked before people wake up to this psyop? Folks, they are trying to make truthers and Christians look stupid. Don't let them. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and God bless.